Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eli back with another review video, and yes, that's right. I'm of course reviewing, and as I teased in the last review earlier today, I'm of course reviewing, the new installment of the Ice Age franchise, the Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild. Yeah, so. Yeah, this was kind of unexpected, don't you think? Because this was announced, and I think a lot of people were wondering. I guess at one point that maybe it would be a series, and I think there were plans. I think there were almost plans for this to be a series, but they changed it instead to a movie. And this is the first Ice Age film that has the Disney logo and no 20th Century Fox logo. Well, now 20th Century Studios. Yeah. And the animation, unfortunately, Blue Sky never did the animation since at that time, they were closing down, and instead another animation studio did the animation, and, I mean, to me at first when I saw the trailers, I was like, is this done by the same animation studio that did the animation for Monsters at Work? But obviously, no, probably not. I would assume it wasn't. But anyways, the story for this, it's a short, short words, Buck, Crash, and Eddie tried to keep the Lost World from being overtaken by dinosaurs as they set out to find a place of their own. And that's it, basically. In fact, the story was okay. In fact, when I watched it for the first time, I got a little confused because I read that this was to take place, after the events of Dawn of the Dinosaurs, literally. But apparently, I guess according to the movie, this apparently takes place after the last two films, Continental Drift and Collision Course. So, the absence of, say, Peaches, Julian, you name it. So, and the same thing goes definitely for Scrat. This is the first piece of Ice Age material where there's no Scrat at all. He never appears. And that's just mind-blowing, He's like the main center and part of the franchise. So that's just hard to believe. Anyways, and, I feel like there was, other characters that, well, yeah, Granny was not there. Well, yeah, we all know what happened to Granny at the end of the films, of the fifth film. But, yeah, and especially the location that Manny and the gang, the herd, basically, where they're at, looks like the same location where they were, during the events of Dawn of the Dinosaurs, almost, but obviously, I guess that's just me, or maybe other people thought the same thing too. You let me know in the comments section. And the cast of characters, well, pretty much all of them, except for Buck. Simon Pegg, of course, reprises the role of Buck, and hey, there wouldn't be anybody else voicing Buck. Who else could voice Buck than Simon Pegg? He is definitely the voice of Buck. What he has brought to the character ever since the third Ice Age film, you name it. He totally fits the voice role of Buck, I should say. But the rest of the characters, the main trio, the herd, basically, Manny, Sid, Diego, Ellie, and Crash and Eddie, they're all voiced by different people, different voice actors. Okay, so, basically, the cast of characters in this, no Ray Romano, no John Leguizamo, no Dennis Leary, no Quentin Latifah, no Josh Peck, you name it. None of them, and apparently I read about this, it's for unknown reasons as to why nobody came back except for Simon Pegg. But Manny is voiced by Sean Kenan, if I'm saying his last name right. Sid being voiced by Jake Green. Diego being voiced by Skylar Stone. And Crash being voiced by Vincent Tong. And Eddie being voiced by Aaron Harris. and Ellie being voiced by Dominique Jennings, if I said her full name right, probably. They were fine. Like, I feel like Sean Kenning's Manny, I think it was okay. It sounded close to Manny, you know. Jennings, betrayal voice for Ellie was fine too. Skylar Stone as Diego, he actually almost sounded pretty good as Diego, but could never top off Dennis Leary. None of them could top off what Romano, Leguizamo, the others, what they brought to the characters, without a doubt. And Crash and Eddie, I really can't remember. Like, probably they were but they could never be, nobody, they can't, they can never top off their original voices. So, and there's a new villain in this being named Orson, and I forget what type of dinosaur he is, but he's voiced by Adakarish. I'm trying to pronounce his name, so I apologize if I don't. Adakarish Badar, yeah, a bit difficult for me to pronounce, but so basically he's the voice of the main villain, Orson, and then also a new character, and that's kind of just like, say, Buck, Z, who's a skunk-like animal, in the skunk family, basically. And even Crash and Eddie, they go on saying that, she's a skunk, even though she's technically not. But probably, somewhere in the skunk family. Voiced by, Z being voiced by Justina Machado. Hopefully I said that right. And also, it was really cool. We even got the return, even I didn't know about this, we got the return of, say, Mama Rex from the third film. She's back. But where are her babies? Like, are they, like, back at a nest she built or something? I don't know. And even if this does, like, even though that technically this does take place after the events of the last two Ice Age films, yeah, so. Crash and Eddie, they basically cause a lot of trouble in the beginning, and, they go off and, back to the world, like the underground part and where the dinosaurs are, and they meet up with Buck once again, and they have an adventure, and of course they run into Orson, and Orson has these army of like dinosaurs that are following his orders, and it has to do something with fire, and I think a little bit of emotional stuff, definitely, even at one point when Orson and the dinosaurs, they capture Buck, and Z and Crash and Eddie, they at one point retreat, and, chaos is happening, and apparently, like, the mammals, like, they're in the dinosaur realm, the dinosaur underground part. How do they get there? Like, well, I think I understand now, but, they're basically kind of like, having a vacation or something down there, because I noticed, it's all, and it's kind of interesting. We don't see that much of, say, the herd, Manny, Sid, Diego, etc. They are looking for Crash and Eddie, but we don't see them a lot in this film, even up until, the climax. So, and even especially when, at the end of the film, Crash and Eddie decide that they want to stay and, hang out with Buck and Z. So, yeah. And of course, it's not, and obviously even I kind of knew this, that they would, occasionally visit them, their adoptive sister, Ellie, and the rest of the gang. And, yeah. And it was kind of a nice way to end it, because, like, at the beginning and at the end, the stories the stories of the Ice Age films are kind of being retold just a little bit through, cave drawings and so on. And, seeing that once again, right before the movie ends and the credits roll, that was very nice. Like, all the events of all 5 films, that was really cool. Kind of a nice way, I guess, to wrap up the franchise, technically, But anyways, but with all that being said, the Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild, it's okay. I wasn't getting bored of it, or I was despising it. You get my point. But it's an okay film, and I also want to give a shout out to my good friend, The Amazing Gamer. He was considered, joining me, reviewing this film, but he's got so much on his hands, and he's way too busy, and, so I just, because of time, and, I had to get this review out, and it's fine, and I'm sure, yeah, he would understand, too. And how do I rate this movie? That's a good question. That is a very good question, because as I said, I thought, it was okay. It's okay, and how I'm speaking. It's okay. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. I think it's an okay Ice Age film, and maybe there are those that think it's okay too. And I'll give it this. It was nice that it came out, around the time when the first Ice Age film that started it all, it was celebrating its anniversary. So I'll give the movie that, definitely. And what about you guys? What did you think of the Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild? Leave comments and, give this review a like as always, and you let me know what you thought of my review. But anyways, so with that being said, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of the Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild. More reviews coming your way. They're going to be awesome. Keep looking forward, and I'll see you guys in the next video/review. And next week, I'm actually going to be reviewing, technically, this is the first movie for a certain duo, that being a cat and mouse. You might know who I'm talking about, probably. So stay tuned for that. Take care, and peace out.